Hi all. So, I have been busy. So this list, before I think I need to go into the nitty-gritty of it already. This list is being uploaded before the ban list drops. Or if it isn't uploaded before the ban list drops, it was at least recorded before the ban list drops. So engage might come up from development hell or whatever the fuck you want to call the ban list, forbidden part. But so there's no engage in this, but if engage were to be put in at 3 or even at 1, I will tell you what to take out as I'm going through the cards. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into my really terrible Sky Strikers. Well, I say really terrible, I do annoy people with them. Anyway, first off, we're going to go into the monsters. I'm running 3 Ray and 3 Rose. Reason being is Rose is just another name, and you really want to be able to get into your links. And without the searchability of Engage, you really need as many names in the deck as possible. So I have 3 of these of each just for that reason. Rose is definitely the worst one. You definitely, if possible, want to get Ray to be the one that you use, because Ray has a really good graveyard effect, while Rose is. Rose is better at trying to get the Link 2 out, let's put it that way. So that's it for the monsters. Now let's get into the main meat of the deck, which is the spells. We have triple Widow Anchor because arguably with no engage, Widow Anchor is one of the best spells in the deck. Another contender for best spell in the deck is the field spell, Area 0, so we're running that at 3. And then one of the nearly banned ones is multi-roll. We're going to use that at 1. And then we're going to go Hornet Drones at 1. So I'm going to go between. I'm going to now explain what they all do, in case you're going, oh, Sky Strikers, I'm new to the game. I came in last month. So Widow Anchor basically negate an effect, and if you have negate a monster's effect, and if there's 3 spells in the grave, you get to take the monster until the end phase 2. So because it's a quick play, you tend to set that, have 3 in grave, and then boom, you take your opponent's monster in the middle of their plays and really interrupt them. To the point a lot of people are really hating against Widow Anchor when you play this deck now. Area 0, field spell, so search ball for terraforming. Also, it's got an effect where you target one card on the field, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Your opponent also is like excavate. Then you pick one of those 3 cards that has the word Sky Striker in it, take it to your hand, the other 2 go back into the deck shuffled, and the card that you targeted gets sent to the graveyard. Nice. Also, if it gets destroyed, you get to search a Sky Striker monster. Ooh. So, it's also good for that. We have a multi-roll for the sheer fact of we can use it's basically a you cannot negate spells effect, but it's also recursion. So basically, when it's on the field, you send one card from the field to the graveyard. Your opponent cannot activate anything in response to Sky Striker spells. Then also, so if you chain that with Area 0, you send Area 0 off a multi-roll, you get a monster done. That's one way of searching the monsters. Also, if you've activated spell cards while this is on the field, you can set Sky Striker spells with different names from your graveyard up to the amount of Sky Striker spells you've activated that turn. So, say I've activated a Widow Anchor and a Hornet Drones this turn, I can set my Widow Anchor back, and I can set my Hornet Drones back, or whatever else in grave. Doesn't have to be the ones you've activated. So that's the probably arguably some of the better Sky Striker spells. Next, we have Double Eagle Booster, which is basically protection on your Sky Strikers, which is really good. Basically, they cannot be destroyed by card effects, and they can't be destroyed by battle if you. Uh, Basically, they become indestructible if you have 3 engraved, which is really nice. 3 Afterburners, target a face-up monster, destroy it, and if there's 3 spells engraved, destroy a back row. Really nice. Jamming Waves at 2, it's the opposite, target a set back row, and if you have 3 spells, destroy a monster. Hercules Base is the equip spell that you only really run for recursion. So basically, it has an effect where you equip it to a Sky Striker. It cannot attack directly, but it can attack multiple times, and then you draw a card for each time it destroys. Nice. But what you tend to do is you tend to send it to the graveyard via like Area 0, multi-roll, or equipping it to Psyche and then linking that something off. because then it targets your 3 Sky Striker cards in the grave and sends them back to the deck. And because we don't have Engage anymore, this is probably one of the better ways to recur the links, because the links will slowly run out. So I think Hercules Base is nice for that little bit of recursion. Next, we have double Shark Cannon. Shark Cannon basically is banish a card from your opponent's graveyard, and if you have 3 or more spell cards, you get to special summon it to your side of the field. So it's got to be a monster in particular. Next, we have triple Vector Blast, and it's the last Sky Striker spell. Reason I'm actually running Vector Blast is basically you mill 2 cards from the top of your deck and then destroy a monster in the extra monster zone that your opponent controls. But your opponent, especially with the new master rules, don't really put in that zone. I mostly use it to send the top 2 to grave, so this immediately is 3 spells in grave, and cards like Widow Anchor are immediately live. So that's really good for that one reason. It doesn't matter that your opponent has monsters in their extra monster zone. That's all it is. Next, we're going into the non-Sky Striker spells. We have 3 Psychic Eraser Laser. It's a spell that basically gets rid of any monster because it's non-target send. Like the opponent can't really do anything to that except negate the actual spell itself. So it's really nice, and also it's a spell, so obviously it goes to the grave. You're setting up for your Sky Strikers, which is really nice. Next, we're going with 2 Cosmic Cyclones for the back row. Obviously, pay a foul, banish a spell or trap that your opponent controls. Nice. It's a quick play. It's a spell. It goes in grave. Sky Strikers like it. Yay. Next, we have triple Forest Burial Goods for obvious reasons. Basically, you get to send a spell to the grave, and then Forest Burial Goods goes to the grave. That's a really nice setup. But what you tend to use it on is the singular Metal Foes Fusion, because Metal Foes Fusion, when it's in the grave, you shuffle it into the deck, and then you draw a card. So you tend to just run the 3 Foolish, 1 Metal Foes, so then your Metal Foes isn't a Garnet. But even if you do draw your Metal Foes, you can send it off of multi-roll or Area 0, so it's not the biggest Garnet. Next, we have the Rotor to search these, because they're all warriors. Again, just making it so you can get your monsters. Hornet Drones, I forgot to explain, basically is activate this and you get a token. It's limited to 1 because of that, but again, it's just so you can actually get a monster on board so you can get the link plays done. Next, we have Terraforming to search the field spell. We have Mind Control because, again, taking your opponent's monster is hilarious, especially since you can Area 0 it or multi-roll it, so that's like the quickest way to get rid of the card. And then finally, we have an Upstart because it's a free card engrave, and you get to draw a card. It literally makes it so you have a 39 card deck, and it's a free spell engrave. So yeah, Upstart is really nice. The only issue it may cause is obviously your opponent will have 9k, and this deck can sometimes struggle to do big damage. But as I said, with Hercules base, you can just keep recurring, so the damage isn't that big of a problem. So that's it for the main deck. Now for the extra, we have triple Kagari, because Kagari is probably, I wouldn't say it's the best link in this deck, but it is very close because it has the recursion. So Kagari, basically all your Sky Strikers gain I think it's just that one, gains 100 attack for every spell engrave. You're going to have a few of them. Then Kagari also, when link summoned, allows you to special summon to add a Sky Striker spell from grave to hand. So if you've used Widow Anchor and you don't have multi-roll up, you just link into Kagari. Kagari take the Widow Anchor, and boom, done. Next, in my opinion, the best link in the entire deck, Shizuku. So Shizuku is really good. So it decreases your opponent's attack by 100 for every single spell, and it's all of your opponent's monsters, which is really nice. Then it also has the effect of basically, if you have if you don't have a particular Sky Striker card in your graveyard, you can add it to hand. Spell card specifically, so you can say I don't have Widow Anchor. I know I keep bringing up Widow Anchor, but it really is one of the best cards that isn't the field spell or multi-roll. So if you don't have Widow Anchor engraved, you can use Suzuku to search it from your deck and add it to your hand. It's during the end phase though, so you don't get to use it until next turn. But it's very good, and that really synergizes with the Kagari, because Kagari can add to from your graveyard to your hand a spell that you want to search with a second copy of with Shizuku. So yeah, oh sorry, I'm yawning because I'm tired. Anyway, triple Hayate because it's your attack directly. Basically, Hayate's effect is attack this card can attack your opponent directly. When it does so, you get to send a spell or trap, a Sky Striker spell or monster from your deck to grave. Well, Sky Striker card in case they bring out a trap for whatever reason. But you get to send a Sky Striker card from your deck to the grave. So what you tend to do is if you had to use Rose or Hornet drones to create your links, you go into Hayate, do the direct damage, and then send Ray, because then you have Ray engrave, which is really good. Next we have double Kaina. So Kaina is basically if your opponent destroys your link before battle phase, you get your Ray back from grave, and then they go into battle phase. You then link off the Ray, go into Kaina. Kaina targets their monster and basically says, no, you cannot attack. So it's good to have two Kaina for that reason. You wouldn't ever run more than two, because I don't ever see you needing to use it more than twice. But it is a possibility. Talking of two odds, we have Zeke. So Zeke is the link 2. It's one of the reasons you run Rose. So basically, this is because it's a Sky Striker name. You can immediately link this back off into one of the link ones, which is really nice. And its basic effect is when it's link summoned, you get to banish a card your opponent controls until end phase. Then you get to you can send a card from your side of the field to the graveyard to basically make its attack 3000. So what you do is you link it, get rid of your opponent's problem card, send something like Area Zero or Hercules base, get the advantage off of that, and then also get the 3k attack. It's really nice. I haven't explained what the monsters do, so I'll go through that in a minute. I completely forgot. Not gonna lie. Nightmare Unicorn. I mean, if you ever go into Zeke and you feel like you need to just send your opponent's back row or their monster back to hand, Unicorn's your guy. And then vice versa, if you feel like you really need to negate more monster effects after Widow Anchor, Appaloosa. Basically, the extra deck could just run just the Sky Strikers, but because there's not enough Sky Strikers, there's not really anything else you can run. I mean, you could run 3 Zeke and 3 Kaina, but I don't see it ever coming up personally, so I'm not so sure on that one. So as a quick rundown on the monsters, because I forgot what to say it. Ray's graveyard effect is if a Sky Striker monster on your field leaves the field, you can special summon it from your graveyard, and then its quick effect while on field is you can link summon any of your Sky Strikers. So that's why Ray's the best, because it literally, even if they send your Sky Striker, you can Ray. And I'm pretty sure, let me double check. Yeah, it just says leaves your opponent's field by opponent's card effect, or leaves field because on or by destroyed by battle. So they could even banish your Sky Striker and your Ray would still activate, which is really good. Really good. So there's no way of getting rid of the presence on board if you have a Ray engrave, unless they banish the Ray engrave or negate its effect. And then Rose, as I said, it's not the best one, it's probably one of the worst ones, is basically if you special summon a Sky Striker Ace monster, which is what all of the Sky Striker monsters are, you get to special summon this from your hand. So this is just basically so you can go into Zeke quickly. And also it does have a recursion from grave, but not a good recursion. So if your opponent's card in their extra monster zone is destroyed, you get to special summon Rose from grave. And Rose has the effect of negating the effects, I think. It's negating the effects or negating the attack. The reason I don't know is because I don't use it. To be 100% honest with you, I don't use it. I literally, it's only there for the name so I can get a Sky Striker link out. So that is my Sky Striker deck profile. As I said, it's not gonna like win you a tournament, but I have a lot of fun with this deck. For those who are wondering why I'm not running Scissors, the reason I'm not running Scissors is because Scissors is a rare, and as you've probably noticed throughout this profile, everything in this deck is hollow, and I wanted to keep that theme up. Uh, so yeah, that's why. I hope you guys enjoyed this little profile. I've been having a lot of fun with this deck. I have a few more deck profiles I've yet to make, which is good because I'm not getting any new decks after next week until like May, so I can't really think of any that I want to complete. So literally, it's just. But I do have a fair few to make profiles for. I've just been busy, unfortunately. So feel free to subscribe to see the profiles when they come out. I'm even going to be doing my very first updated deck profile maybe tomorrow, depending on... Actually, I won't be able to do it tomorrow. I'll probably do it over the weekend, maybe Saturday or Sunday. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you later. Ta-ra.